What is going on, guys? We are here with my first ever episode of my Feed the Beast tutorial series, and this series isn't just going to be going over single blocks, how they work, all that stuff. You probably already know that stuff if you're here. We're going to be going over more big builds and things that you can use on your single player worlds or servers if you're already settled down and have the resources you need. So right now I'm just going to tell you guys what you're going to need for today's build if you want to do it on the same scale as which I've done. And you can see the final build is right here, so this is what you'll be making. You're going to need 1 bucket of gelid cryotheum, 1 bucket of energized glowstone, about a stack of glass, 20 mining turtles, 20 tesseracts, and about a stack of stone. That's all you're going to need, and it's not that big of a build. So here's what you're going to be doing today, and this is just going to explain the whole idea behind it, and then I'll go through this whole build with you. So what's been done before is people have used block breakers on timers to break the glowstone that is made when energized glowstone flows upward into gelid cryotheum. So if we break this, we'll be able to see that it breaks it, and then more forms, and it doesn't use the source block, which is why this idea is possible. And it can get a little bit glitchy over here, but this won't happen at all on the big scale because it's a different setup slightly. But so it flows upward, freezes, and breaks. This interval is set at 2.5 seconds, and you guys might have already seen the problem with this. So you can see that it doesn't always need 2.5 seconds, and sometimes it really does. So right there, it formed way before 2.5 seconds had been up. Right there, it did the same thing, but other times it won't form until right at the very end. So that's why that's a problem. The way to get around this is to use the mining turtle. Now with this, you can set up a program, and we're just going to go to edit Glowstone, which is the program. And basically what this program says is if the turtle detects a block in front of it, then it's going to break that block. If it doesn't, then it's going to wait 0.5 of a second, and then it's going to cycle through again and do the same thing. So the reason that this is better is because there's not always going to be a block in front of it, but if there is, it'll be able to break it every 0.5 seconds rather than wait 2.5. And you have to make it wait 2.5 or else it will actually break the energized glowstone itself and not a block of glowstone, and you'll get nothing from it. So that's why the mining turtle is more effective, and I'll show you guys if we're going to just run this program how effective it is. So the minute it forms, it just breaks it immediately, and it's much faster than this. So it's actually the most effective way to go about it. So if we're just going to terminate this program, there's a slight difference between the program I have running here and the program that you're actually going to use on the final build. And I've programmed this guy to have the exact final program you need. And the only difference that you guys can see, and that it's the only difference at all, is that below the turtle.dig, it has turtle.dropdown. Now what this does is when it cycles through, it's going to check if there's an item in the first slot, and it's going to try and drop it down into what's below it. And right now we have a tesseract there, which is linked to the tesseract over here, which flows into this chest. So basically, if you want to have this anywhere in your base and have it flow into an ME system or just a chest or anything, this is the program you're going to want. If you just want the turtle to hold on to it, you can use the previous program. So if we want to run this right now, you guys will be able to see how it works. It breaks it, and it immediately gets sent over here and then transported through up into the chest. Now I didn't program all of these turtles, but you guys can see the general concept right here, and this is the exact way we're going to build this. It's not big at all, but it does take a little bit of resources because of all these tesseracts, but it just takes 1 bucket of the gelid cryotheum and 1 of the energized glowstone. So it's not too expensive, and we can terminate this and then get building. Okay, so we can come over here, and how high did I put it off the ground over there? Okay, so we can put it 3 off the ground. So what we're going to want to do is have this as a corner. This is where the glowstone is going to come up, and then you can take it 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll just put a stone block there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we can do the same over here, and the same on this side. And we're basically just going to form like a star that the liquids are going to flow out on. Now, the thing that makes this even easier to work with is the fact that gelid cryotheum does not flow as far as energized glowstone does. So you'll see what I mean in a second, because if we break this block, put that down, and put this in the very center, we're going to see that it flows out, and it's going to stop before it spills over the edge. And that's exactly what we want. So now the reason I broke the glass that was right here is because we need an open space right here. So we can go through and just, we're actually going to need our tesseracts now. Whoops. Just going to have to hold down shift so that we don't click on them. And then we don't need a tesseract on the corner because of the way we're going to set it up. The turtles. So we're just going to go through and fill all these spaces up. And you're actually going to want a piece of stone on the corners. I forgot to do that over here, just to prevent the glowstone from flowing too far up. And then we can just go and do this with the rest of the sides. Now, the reason that this is going to be super crucial to people on servers is going to be because when you go on a server, if you're late, you know that you're not going to have all the glowstone in the nether. Because people go in, they ransack the nether, get all the glowstone they can, and then they leave. And you don't want to run around trying to find it, which is why this is going to be so useful to you guys. So now we can just go on top of these and put down turtles that we want. It's kind of obnoxious to do because you have to worry about right clicking on the tesseract, and we're going to rotate it so that they're going to be facing these, and you'll see why that's important in a second when we start generating the glowstone. So now we're going to do the same over here. Rotate it in the direction facing those. And one last side, we're going to do the same thing. And when we return to the other side, you're going to notice that it just has them facing the same way. So it forms a loop where they're all going to break. This will fully break the glowstone. Now all we need to do is grab our bucket of energized glowstone, go below, find the center, which should be right here. Now you're going to see why it's important that it flows out one more, because it's going to flow out there and then it's going to come up. Now it's going to be a little bit glitchy at first. You can prevent this if you really want to by putting glass over, but I think it's easier to wait and then just go through and put the glass over now. And you're also going to need one piece of glass right there because there's not a turtle there. And this will prevent that from ever happening again, even if there's a slight problem with the turtles breaking it. So now you're completely finished. All you have to do is go through and set the tesseracts up and set the turtles up. So it's super simple. I'll show you guys one more time. We'll just start the program again. And it'll just get you infinite glowstone. You never have to worry. And it's also, the reason you set it to sleep at 0.5 is to prevent server lag. It shouldn't cause server lag if it's this small of a scale. I mean, if you have a lot of these set up, it might, but it really shouldn't. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial, and I hope you find it useful. And if you think of any possible improvements that could be made to this, please post in the comments, and I will always read the feedback from you guys. So thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe, and I hope you guys had a good Easter. See you later.